Welcome back, and today, diving into this computer. This computer was one that was dumped on me, it was abandoned, it was picked up from a sketchy customer in a sketchy area, and a long story short on it, when I finally was able to dive into it, I found a gun tucked in the hard drive cage inside the computer. And if you're curious on the whole story behind it, what happened and everything, there's a dedicated video on that, so definitely check it out. But now I'm finally able to dive into this computer, see how well it performs, and my thoughts on the FX 8320 years later, and why I typically steer away from selling these. So quickly diving into the specs, it's the AMD FX 8320, has 32 gigs of DDR3, the Dominators, the Corsair, and initially came with a GTX 760, but for today's video, I decided to use something a little beefier. Yes, we're gonna run into bottlenecks, but an RX 6600 should be all right. Now diving in a little more into the details, it did come with a 1TB Samsung 860 EVO, which is pretty nice, and it does have the Thermaltake 600 watt power supply. It is the Smart Series, although these power supplies tend to not hold up pretty well. This one seems to be working. And for the case, it is a Musatex case. I like to call it the Mucinex just because, well, that's what it reminds me of. And it's an okay case, nothing to write home about. I mean, it gets the job done. The airflow is just kind of limited through the sides, but I think it's enough to, keep the computer cool. Now, one thing I did find interesting about this build was that they put two 140mm fans. As you can see, they're loose and they're not mounted properly. Reason why is because this case does not have provisions for 140mm. I think you're supposed to put three 120s in the front, but it works, I guess. Who knows? And then it has 120mm, I think it's another random Corsair one right over here. And for our motherboard, it's the Asus M5A 99X Pro R2.0. So now this PC is quite old. It was released back in 2012, so that puts us at 13 years old. And when this CPU came out, it retailed for about $169 US. They did have the 8350, which is supposed to be a little bit faster, AMD FX one, that was $199. But its competitor from Intel, which was the i7 3rd gen, they were going for about $319. And even though the price was significantly more, in my opinion, I found them to be more stable, a lot more reliable, and faster compared to this. And this was probably, just in my opinion, AMD's not so great. I mean, if we go back to the Duron and the Thunderbirds, those two were not great. So I guess AMD always hasn't had the greatest history of putting out decent performing CPUs, but now looking at their stuff nowadays, their stuff is pretty solid with the Ryzen, I mean the 9950X3D or the Ryzen 7 9800X3D. I mean, AMD has come a long way since when this came out. But considering back in 2012, my experience with these were not that good. Years later, when these things started coming up real cheap, they were not my go-to. I preferred to use the Intel, the i7 3rd gens, because although they cost a little bit more, you were able to get a CPU for about $100. They ran so much better, they were more stable, and the biggest thing I found with these was that they ran so hot. I believe 125 watt TDP versus an i7 3rd gen, which had like, I think a 77 or 85 watt TDP. But ultimately, when I was selling a used computer, I wanted one that was not gonna come back in the garage. And maybe it was just my luck with these, but I started selling these. I sold them when they were new, when I was flipping new computers, and even in the used ones, they would come back. Well, at the time I wasn't working out of the garage, but they would come back, and they would come back with stability issues, crashing issues. A lot of it was related to overheating, but then I don't know, I just had a lot of issues with it. Let me know your experiences in the comment. I just never had a good experience with them. And that's why, like, when I sell used computers, even now, if I have to sell an i7 3rd or 4th gen as, cheap starter gaming PCs, which work really well, even though this could be had cheap, I just stay away from them. Now, obviously, one of the big issues that we're gonna run into is actually gonna be the graphics card, because it's an RX 6600, still a great graphics card, but it is gonna be, our CPU is going to be a bottleneck for it. Just looking on the interweb and just kind of looking at some of the forums, upwards of a 30% CPU bottleneck. So we might not get all the performance out of our graphics cards, but I figured might as well give that a shot. RX 580 might pair well with this one. Obviously the 780s, TIs, but there's no driver support. Let's see how well this RX 6600 pairs with this 8320. Can we play some of our modern games, and how bad is it going to be? So The Last of Us, 1080p, low settings, CPU just pegged out right there, 100% pretty much. And our biggest issue is going to be our CPU. That's going to be our bottleneck. So our GPU, you know, she's not going to be able to stretch her feet like she should. But considering, I mean, probably 30 frames per second, not too bad. We just ran past those guys. They didn't even pay attention to me. Nice. But the gameplay is playable. The experience is not terrible. So I would say we average about 30 frames per second. We're probably going to get drops. There is some slight stutters, but I mean, what do you expect? The CPU is, you know, she's not as good. She's not as good as most older ones from that generation. But, you know, we still can do some damage. Let's see. Let's get everybody to chase after me. Where'd everybody go? There we are. I hear you. Who's shooting me? Come on. Where you at? Come on out. There's one guy. Yeah, now we got everybody's attention. So yeah, 30 frames per second. Not too bad. So the next one, an oldie, but a classic. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Love this game, 1080p low settings. CPU obviously up at 84, 80%. So bottleneck, not too terrible, but there is some going on there. I mean, I'm seeing dips to the 60 frames per second. We're at 90 primarily because there's not too much going on, but still 1080p low settings with the frames we're getting, not too bad. So let's finish this up and let's see what our averages is. All right, so our average is 70 frames per second. Not too bad, not too many stutters. I mean, a couple when you get the dips, but still it would be a playable, decent experience. So far, this FX is running pretty decent. It's not giving me any crashes or hiccup. I'm impressed. Maybe drivers got better since the last time I used it years, and I'm talking about years and years ago, going back to 2015, 2016, so not too bad. So for our final game, God of War Ragnarok, and this is where we're gonna run into our limitations, and this is where the CPU is gonna date itself. God of War Ragnarok requires a CPU that supports these instructions. AXV2 not supported. Unfortunate, not much you can do about it, but considering how huge the Steam library is, there's still a lot of games that you can play. But as far as playing the latest and greatest, you're gonna run into CPU bottlenecks and you're not gonna have the proper instructions. So let's wrap this up and give you my thoughts. So the AMD FX, particularly the 8320, years later, it's not bad. My experience using it now compared to back when they first came out and even a couple of years later, and when I started trying to flip them maybe, I don't know, back in 2020, 2018, it's not bad. It's stable. You can play most of the games, but as you saw, you're gonna not have the proper instructions for the games, and then you're gonna run into bottlenecking. That's unfortunate. Even you're gonna run into that issue with even older Intel CPUs, just planned obsolescence, I would say. I'm not sure on that. But either way, it's better than what it was, but would I still sell a used gaming PC with this old of a CPU, the 8320? Nah, I still wouldn't. And primarily because the performance is not there as far as the bang for the buck. An Intel i7 3rd or 4th gen, maybe you can get them for about $30 to $40. They perform a lot better, a lot smoother, less stutters. They're more stable, just in my opinion on it. Now, obviously, hardware is getting older and, you know, we kind of got to move away from it. But if you're looking for a cheap option, this older hardware still works. Like I said, the Steam library is huge. Same thing with EA games. I mean, there's tons of games that you can play, and if you're looking to get into cheap computer gaming, this could be it. Now, unfortunately, you do have those people that get on the marketplace, and I will say this, and they sell this as a high-end gaming PC. In fact, I saw one the other day selling for $600 with an 8350 and something like, I think it was a 970. Come on, people. So just do your homework on that and you won't get hosed as far as that. But I mean, if you see a system like this for $100, it could be fun to tinker around with. But as far as me moving forward, yeah, I definitely won't be flipping anything with this setup. My plan for this, I'm just gonna probably just put it in a box. Maybe if somebody needs a free computer later on in the future, I don't know, not saying, you know, reach out to me for a free computer or anything like that, but you know, somebody local needs something, this could be a good spare for them. And I like to keep spare stuff like that, but I am gonna use the case, the power supply, and obviously the SSD. That's some good bang for the buck. And as far as the DDR3, this memory, I do have another system that should run a lot better that I am going to pop that in there, and you'll have to stay tuned for that video. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. AMD FX, what was your experience with it? Was it as bad as mine? Maybe it was a lot better. Things you think that I was doing wrong that I ran into when I was rocking these FX CPUs. I think I had an 8350, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I had. What would you do with a system like this? I know a lot of people say, you know, Linux and cheap NAS servers. Let me know. If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.